this is probably the most difficult chapter, the one I will share with you today on Storytime with Stephanie. I've already been kind of emotional today. Coming out of yesterday, right? So, picking up where we left off, I read a book series some years back that was very profound. Thomas Covenant series. And there was one phrase that stood out in this well-written series of books. It said, the easiest way to break someone is to take something from them that they love the most and then give it back to them broken. When my mother left, she knew she couldn't take care of all four of us by herself. She wanted to take the two babies, and my dad refused to separate us. And he didn't allow visitation. He thought that she would be a bad influence because of her chosen lifestyle. And because she was really good at cursing him out like a sailor. I got the best of both worlds. I can curse you out like a sailor, but I can also come at you with a very logical argument that you can't penetrate. That was my dad. It's kind of a double-edged sword because they spent so much time and so much money in court fighting over just visitation. And my father would not allow her to take us out of state. I saw my mom after she left when I was 10. She was there for the last fight. And she lost again. I was 12. And she lost. And now here we are in a bus on my way to Denver to my mom, whom I had fantasized about based on what I remembered, the little I remembered. The mom that I remembered was gone. Only she can tell you her story. I just know that she was not the same. I don't really need to talk about that a lot. It accepting. It's important to mention only because my sister started running away from home habitually as a result. It's when she was in one of these homes that they send you when you're a juvenile delinquent and you keep running away from home. And there's a house mother, and she heard some of the kids talking about situations that sounded similar to our home. She asked the house mother, in what she thought was confidence, some questions. And of course, being a mandatory reporter, she reported what Cynthia discussed with her. And within a short period of time, a day or so, my mother's coming to me, asking me if my father ever molested me. Yes. That was the first time I'd been asked. And I answered truthfully. My sister and I were required to write statements for the police. My father was arrested. He ended up in a mental institution where he was suicidal and was posed with a choice. The psychiatrist told him, you could pull the trigger, and in fact, there's probably a number of people who wouldn't mind pulling it for you, but you have 4 girls. He said, are you going to teach those girls how to die? Or are you going to teach them how to live? Because if you pull that trigger, you can bet that one, if not all 4 of them, will follow suit in the next 10 years. Well, my dad was big on statistics. And he chose to teach us how to live. And he spent the next 10 years that he had left on this dimension trying to fix everything he fucked. That's the miracle of my dad. Merry Christmas.